It is my privilege to present Barbara McInnes. Aside from 2 short periods of her life, Barbara is, and ever has been, the consummate citizen of Ottawa. We can certainly pardon her for these brief lapses, which were, as you will understand, not entirely under her control. She was born in Edmonton and was unable to persuade her parents to move to Ottawa until she had reached the age of 5. When she was 10, she had no choice but to follow her parents to France, where her father, an Air Force officer, was stationed with NATO. Aside from these 2 minor lapses, Barbara's life and work has been focused on Ottawa and on serving and ameliorating our community. Barbara studied English and philosophy at Carleton University, leaving only to marry her high school sweetheart, Glenn, who has joined us today. She worked as a mother, volunteered at agencies such as the United Way, and held down a number of part-time positions before joining her father in establishing the Community Foundation of Ottawa. From 1987 to 2013, she brought the foundation from its first gift of $500,000 to a strong entity with an endowment of $100 million and a record of gifts to the community organizations of over $75 million. From an office so small that there was no place to seat a visitor, the Community Foundation of Ottawa has grown to be one of the most well-known community foundations in Canada. Barbara has always strived to raise all her activities to the highest level of professionalism. Indeed, it has been said that her dedication knows no boundaries. She was a founding director of the Council of Canadian Foundations, serving for 12 years, and a member of the International Council of Foundations and the Transatlantic Community Foundation boards. Truly, her sense of community is without borders, but it always starts and ends in Ottawa. She currently serves on the Telus Community Foundation Board, a committee for the National Arts Centre, and she has, perhaps most notably, at least for us in this room, served on the Board of Governors of Carleton University. It is most fitting that we recognize this dedicated community servant, this civic-minded volunteer, this creative and tenacious visionary who has created a vehicle that will continue for years to come to support Ottawa. Mr. Chancellor, in recognition of her service to the community as a volunteer and local organizer, and for her development of the Community Foundation of Ottawa, I request that you confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon Barbara McInnes.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors and the Faculty Senate, I hereby bestow upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto pertaining. Congratulations, Dr. McInnes.
Well, I hadn't realized that I would be speaking before anyone. of my very esteemed co-honorees, but I am absolutely delighted. So, Chair of the Board, Madam President, graduands, and honored guests, it's with great humility and gratitude that I accept this honorary degree from this esteemed university, my own alma mater. As a philosophy major, when I embarked on my master's degree, I planned to write my thesis on the philosophy of skepticism. However, I soon became convinced that this was not a particularly viable philosophy on which to rely for an approach to life. So I abandoned the thesis, but not my interest in the subject. I've found that it's useful, even necessary, in my life and my career to question the validity of so-called established facts. I'm very privileged to have been allowed these few minutes with you to address you at this particularly crucial or critical juncture in your lives. Your graduation may well signify a turning point, and so I'd like to spend these few minutes taking a skeptical look at a subject that is inevitably going to be significant to every single one of you, regardless of your chosen path. I'd like to talk about money. My whole career as the CEO of a grant-making and fundraising foundation concerned itself with money. After 27 years, I feel as though I've learned a few things, and today I'll combine my remarks to just 3 observations. The first is about the meaning of money. Business as a generator of money is held in thrall these days. But think about it. Money is meaningless until it's used for something. It's only a tool, a means to an end. It has no purpose in and of itself until it's put to use. And until it's put to use, it's like a hammer sitting in a toolbox. We need, I think, as a society, to take a different perspective, stop worshiping money as the ultimate goal, and start seeing it as a tool that can and should be used to make important and useful things happen. Zita Cobb, another Carleton alumnus, and a successful entrepreneur in the worlds of both for-profit and social purpose business, has put it this way: profit means nothing without human dignity and healthy communities. Hold on to the song of the universe and remember that all of us have a duty, a civic duty, to contribute beauty to the world. It's impressive when Zita delivers this message peer-to-peer to other successful business people, especially those running large corporations. She's provided a great example by putting her money where her heart is, on Fogo Island in Newfoundland. The money there has been transformed into a whole array of social enterprises based on the philosophy that business must be not just for profit. My second observation: why is the giver more important than the recipient? There's a Jewish saying that a rich man is good, handsome, and dances well too. I've noticed that this is unfortunately the way wealthy people are often treated, especially by those who had some of their money. It isn't long before wealthy individuals come to expect this treatment and to believe all the good things they hear about themselves. The same is true of an organization that gives money away. A foundation, for example, has a very hard time getting honest evaluations from grant recipients. While money sits in the bank account of a foundation, it is useless. A foundation needs grant recipients. They are the ones that can make magic happen. They're the experts in how to transform dollars into programs and services that can make a positive impact. Money alone just can't do that. My final observation, there's a disease called foundationitis. It's serious and it's communicable. It afflicts both individuals and institutions. The most vulnerable are the people who run foundations or grant-making programs. Its primary symptoms appear when the person giving the money away starts thinking the money belongs to them and that they are smarter than those who are asking for it. The balance of power means that the person or institution doesn't get disabused of this idea. Grant applicants don't tend to bite the hand that feeds them. So those are my 3 observations. There's much more that I could say. Given more time, I would broaden those observations to the wider world beyond foundations and grantees. But perhaps that's an easy enough link to make. So let me conclude with how this needs to change and why it matters. Put starkly, it's just not sustainable to assign such high priority to money and to for-profit business as its generator. The other elements of a sustainable society, the environment, community, arts, and culture, need to be supported rather than exploited. Money is the tool, not the end in itself. You, as new graduates, are in a wonderful position to change the way the world works. Some of you may have the opportunity to do this on a global scale. All of us, though, can make a difference in a small community or organization. You may not be able to change the whole world, but you can certainly change what's right in front of you. Theodore Roszak, in A Nobler Economics, says, "We are, all of us, each and every one of us, responsible for the ongoing creation of our communities. What matters is what we do. Everything everyone does matters. So you are implicated, and I suggest you go out and seize the opportunities that are in front of you." Thank you so much.